had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly, my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Año nuevo, los mismos Extra Value Meals en McDonald's. Ahora te puedes llevar 2 snack wraps y papitas y una bebida mediana por solo $8. Solo por tiempo limitado. Precios y participación pueden variar. Los precios pueden ser más altos en Hawaii, Alaska y California y con entrega.
The Kid LAROI, come down. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a pretty good episode for you today. We got the Kid LAROI. The Kid LAROI has dropped his new album. I knew this was coming out pretty fucking soon. You know, we were thinking around like January 9th, you know, around there. And I'm pretty excited. You know, I listened to the album all the way through. You know, obviously I'm going to do an album review of this album. And we're going to be talking about the Kid LAROI for probably the whole entire weekend and week because, well, there ain't other music coming out. So, you know, unless there's some other stuff coming out during the week, which always seems to happen, you know, it always seems to be like Wednesday or Tuesday, you know, then we'll get some more fucking music coming out. For some reason, that's just how it's been fucking working for quite a while now at this point. But we got the Kid LAROI, this song right here, Come Down. And honestly, I can't lie to y'all, you know, this is one of the songs that I recently added to my personal goddamn playlist. That's how good this fucking song was. So let's just get into it now. You know, first of all, one of the things that I enjoy about this, you know, overall album and about this whole production of this song is I like all the different R&B elements that's kind of layered on this song. You know, the way the piano is on here kind of reminds me of that, like, classic-ass, like, R&B kind of old-school vibes. You know, the synths, too, sound really fucking good. You know, I like it when the drums kick in, you know, those synths go fucking crazy. That piano sounds really goddamn beautiful. And I like all those elements there. I also really like all the 808s here. The way the 808s are layered, the way the drums are layered. You know, this is a fusion-type beat. And one of the things that I love about if you can do a fusion-type beat, when you can combine really good R&B elements, when you can combine really good pop elements, when you can combine really good trap elements too, damn, you're going to have a really good combination in my opinion. Now overall, I really enjoy the beat. I think the beat's one of the great standouts on here. It's one of the things that I really gravitate towards the most is when you have all these different R&B elements, you have, you know, all these different trap elements that are layered on here. And I think overall, this fucking beat was fire. I mean, when I heard this shit, you know, and I just kept replaying it, you know, that's when you know you have a really good song, in my opinion, when you could just constantly replay it and it constantly just sounds really fucking good. There's also even a beat switch on here. You know, the beat kind of calms down. You know, you have those synths kind of get a little bit deeper. You know, the 808s get a little bit deeper too. So you also have a beat switch up. And I remember, you know, we talked about recently Bruno Mars. And I said there was a beat switch on that song. But this is what I mean when I say beat switch. You know, it actually feels like a whole entire beat switch. Like the whole thing fucking switches up. And I think that's what's really cool about this song is that you also get that on here. But it's actually, overall, I really enjoy this beat. But now let's get into the first verse. Overall, I'm going to say this about the Kid LAROI. The vocals are off the goddamn charts. You know, he's been giving me some kind of like Michael Jackson kind of singing type vibes on here. Not this song, you know, but you have that beat and, you know, you have that moment where the Kid LAROI is constantly switching up his vocals. Constantly switching up those flows. And I think for a good old 2026, you know, the big 2026, this is what I want. You know, I want artists to keep the track fresh. The way this song stays fresh throughout the whole entire song, you know, the different flow switches that the Kid LAROI is easily able to do. And also the vocal switch ups too that just provide so much goddamn value when you're listening to this song. And then when I get into this song and when the hook comes on, and I'm not going to lie to y'all, you know, this is more of kind of a pop hook, but this pop hook gets stuck in your head like fucking crazy. I mean, you know, I just started listening to this song, you know, I started Thursday night, you know, when it first came out, and then, you know, I stayed up all night, you know, stayed up till like fucking 6 a.m., you know, listening to this shit, and...
Live CBS Sunday. Hollywood's biggest party is now bigger than ever.
Perfect. No notes.
The Golden Globes, with more stars, more glamour, more chaos, and more host Nikki Glazer.
We're gonna laugh at the celebrities that can take it and completely ignore the ones who can't. I'm just kidding. They're not safe either.
The Golden Globes, live CBS Sunday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and streaming on Paramount+.
Here's to quitting. Quitting the couch for a quick run. Quitting the snooze button for a morning workout. Quitting giving up after 2 weeks. You see, staying committed to your fitness goals isn't easy. But with Apple Watch, you don't have to do it alone. Because Apple Watch gives you real-time motivation, plus advanced metrics that track all your workouts, so you can stick to your New Year's fitness resolutions. And once and for all, quit quitting with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
And I could say this is probably one of the more addicting hooks that I've heard in the big 2026. Because, you know, you have really good singing vocals that sound really good. I love the vocals on the hook. You know, that flow is really addicting too. Easily gets stuck in your head. But I like how there is a subtle flow switch up and a subtle vocal switch up too. And I like how the hook does not stay the same throughout the whole entire track. I like how there's different moments. You know, you have this first moment, which sounds really fucking good. The vocals are sounding really good. The singing is sounding really good. And then you have that key switch up. You know, the flow switches up a little bit. The vocals switch up a little bit. And all those vibes really fucking come together on here. And I really overall enjoy that. So I like all the different elements here. You know, I love all the different elements in the hook, and I love how the hook, you know, switches up, and I like how the hook stays fresh throughout the whole entire song, and the hook easily gets stuck in your head. So that's definitely a win in my book, and I think, you know, the Kid LAROI really went crazy on here, and I think the Come Down hook is fucking spectacular. I mean, fantastic. The vocals are fucking on fire. And overall, I really do enjoy that hook. And then I enjoy that second verse. You know, I like the different flow switch that he does. I like how when the beat kind of calms down and, you know, the Kid LAROI does this whole, like, switch up. He switches up his flow. The vocals get a little bit more powerful. And it's like, goddamn, that shit sounds fucking fantastic in my opinion. So overall, guys, when we talk about this goddamn song, we talk about the Kid LAROI, I'd say for starters, you know, if this is the first track that I'm reviewing, and this is the first track that I click on, you know, you have a really nice R&B-like beat that, you know, obviously is going to win me over, you know, 100%. Those synths, those pianos, the way the trap beat comes in, you know, all those different elements that kind of fuse together is just really beautiful in my opinion to listen to. So you definitely got that going for it. And then you have a really nice couple of verses here with really good flow switches, really good fucking vocal switch-ups too that sound absolutely fantastic. And then you have a hook. You have a hook that's really addicting, really gets stuck in your head, you know, has all these different goddamn switch-ups that just sound fucking fantastic in my opinion. So overall, this is a fucking banger-ass song. I'm easily going to have to give this song like an easy 8 out of 10. So 8 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And, man, the Kid LAROI is coming out with a fucking new album. You know, I can't wait to dive back in and listen to it, you know, check it all out again, you know, over and over and over again. We will be doing an album review, and we will be coming out with more of the Kid LAROI content. We got more fucking songs to review. There's some other songs on here that I really fucking like that I definitely got to talk about, so make sure you follow the show. We got more reviews coming out. We're dropping content every single goddamn day. And thank y'all guys so much for listening to this episode, listening to the podcast. You know, I just appreciate y'all so fucking much. And I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Yeah, guys. Bye.